What's up, planty people, or for the purpose of this video, howdy Hoya heads. Yeah, that was really bad. Welcome back to Should the Plant Talk. After I have taken a long hiatus of what I like to call surgery clerkship, basically over the past 8 weeks, I have been running around the hospital, doing surgery, and not getting paid because I'm there to learn. Love medical school. So, I just finished that on Friday. I took the test. Hopefully I passed. It was hard, but it is what it is. And so I have a long weekend now, and I figured, hey, I should do some planting content. And we've changed a lot of things around in our house, as you might have noticed if you watched my first video, first houseplant tour. Our collection has changed quite a bit. We definitely have over 300 plants now. Before it was close. We definitely have over 300 plants now. And, I was thinking that I would do a new houseplant tour. Well, the last time I did a houseplant tour was 2 hours long. And I didn't feel like cleaning my house at all because, hold on one moment, there's been somebody that has been making it very messy in here. Hold on. And his name is Apollo. Say hi, Apollo. This is our 10, I just woke him up from a nap. This is our 10-week-old rescue husky puppy. We don't know if he's full husky or not, but his mom looked full husky and all of his siblings are very husky. So we did a little DNA test to see how fancy he actually is, but he's a menace. Only time he's not a menace is when he's sleeping. Like right now. I'll go put him back. Oh. So, because filming a full houseplant tour would take way too long and things are not still not organized the way I really want them to be, I decided that I was gonna do kind of like a partial houseplant tour / Hoya collection video, because I recently have gone off the walls when it comes to Hoyas. I think when I filmed this last, I had maybe 20-ish Hoyas. No, I have like 42 Hoyas now. They are so addicting. They can be so small. I recently had some of my Hoyas flower, which is chef's kiss. I love that. And so I've just been going absolutely crazy on Hoyas. So without further ado, I will start showing you my Hoyas. There are a few in other rooms, but mostly they are either hanging up in this window here. This is a west-facing window, or they are over here on a shelf. So I am going to start with the ones hanging in this window. My boyfriend is shirtless. Anyway, this is my Hoya Wyetii. I have owned this plant 3 times. First time I got it, it was a really small plant and it was like super dehydrated and I couldn't get it to like perk back up no matter what I did. So I like chopped it up and sold it. And then the second time I owned it, it was a huge basket, maybe like a 8-inch basket of it. But because it was so big, there was a ton of plant in there, but none of it would trail over. And so I ended up breaking that one up and selling it too. But then I found this one that is trailing, And this, like, I love the like black margins on this. Yeah, it hasn't really done much growing. I definitely need to remember to water it, so I'm gonna set it over here. There's really no safe place to set this, not with a puppy around. Second is, gosh, I feel like a little frog. This is my Hoya linearis, and this is actually one that bloomed, and there is actually still, oh, I just dropped a bunch of them off. There's still a bloom on it. I just dropped 3 of them. Yeah, they're about to all fall off. But it actually bloomed twice. Oh gosh, this one is already done here. And I think that this plant is, the pieces that bloomed were actually pieces that I had gotten from a friend, a plantee friend. So they weren't even part of my original plant. So that they were a part of a more mature plant, and that might have been why they bloomed so easy. But this Hoya is super easy. It doesn't need like the most light ever. And some people say that this one is like thirstier, but I found it to be like quite a bit more forgiving in terms of letting it dry all the way out. It hasn't really, you know, dried up too much. There's a few leaves on here few strands on here that are dry at the end, but otherwise I totally recommend this plant because it's so jungly and it's so soft. I don't know, like, it's very fuzzy. My arm is starting to hurt from holding this thing up. It's not very heavy, but it's very long. Next is my Hoya carnosa compacta, which I cannot take credit for how long and beautiful this already is because I bought it like this. But I have also been told that this plant grows super slow, and I have got new growth on almost all of these growth points. Like, this is a new leaf. This little arm that's going straight up, like, ton of new leaves on this one. I think all of these above my finger are new. This one didn't have a growth point at the end, so I just cut it and sold it to somebody to see if maybe it would encourage new growth from here, because this is on the same strand here. So I love this, and it's kind of like splashy. Like, there's a, let's see if I can show it. There's like a big like splash like right here. I'll hide my face, it doesn't put it on my face. But like, ooh, like this leaf is super splashy, super awesome. Love that funky leaf shape. Next is another bloomer for me. It's got some blooms here that are getting ready to open. Is my Croniana Super Silver. I love this plant. This has also been like kind of fast for me, and very silver in this west window. Oh, here's 2 more peduncles. I think there is like a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 peduncles on here at least. Like, it is related to the lacinosa. Like, some people will even call this like a lacinosa, I'm pretty sure. And so the lacinosa is a super easy bloomer. I don't have it, but I've seen people have like super easy time blooming with that one. But this one, so silver. I also did buy this one pretty big, and when I bought it, it was actually kind of wrinkly and like I thought it was gonna die. It looks great right now. I just needed to really hydrate it a lot more. So I think it's kind of a thinner leafed Hoya, so definitely a thirstier one, I'd say. And so I've been watering it a little bit more frequently so that these blooms don't blast or fall off. I'm running out of space. But yeah, this is probably top 5 favorite Hoya because of how silvery it is and how many peduncles it has, how easy it is. Some of the strands aren't so silvery, but I think that's really fun when like this strand like is really dark. But the majority of them are super silver, hence why it's called the super silver. And I will definitely add a picture of what the Croniana looks like when it's blooming. I think I figured out how to do that. I said that I would add pictures last time and I never did, so. But this is also top 5 Hoya, is my Hoya Polyneura, the fishtail or mermaid tail Hoya. Like, oh my gosh, I think it's really thirsty. Oof, I need to water it. It has grown so much, like I think at least 3 nodes worth of growth on every single, yeah, definitely 3 nodes of growth on every single branch. And this Hoya also seems to have peduncles on every single node. They're really tiny, but they have it like on every single one. I just don't know how to get it to bloom. Maybe I need to keep it a little bit more wet. It's in a really well draining mix, so I probably should water it a lot more frequently than I do. But I'm just in love with how like trailing it is and how the veination on these leaves. Super easy Hoya. I've heard it's super easy to propagate. I am selfish, so I have not propagated this yet. And I probably won't until fall. Ooh yeah, super dry. But I can't wait for this one to bloom. I think it would, out of all my Hoyas, I think this one will be the next one to bloom because it just has so many peduncles. If I could just keep it moist, I could for sure get it to bloom, I think. So it has a few of the leaves have like tiny bit of splash, you know, like all Hoyas, like pretty much all Hoyas will give you a little bit of splash. But I really want the Polyneura Brochet that's like really silver, but they're pretty expensive, so I think I'll hold off for now. I need to watch this. Okay, so that is all the Hoyas that live in my west window. They started growing really, really well in very early spring because there's a really big tree right out in the front yard that when it didn't have any leaves on it, the sun was so bright in here. It was amazing. And my Hoyas loved, loved, loved that. Now it's a little bit more indirect because the tree has leaves, which seems kind of silly that the light is dimmer now in the summertime, but they didn't really slow down in growth at all, and they bloomed after the leaves came in on that tree, so I don't think they're too upset. But now since I finished that window, let's see, I think I'm gonna do a few random ones that live other places in the house before moving over to the Hoya shelf or the Hoya area. So let's do that. I cannot get enough of this cute little man. Our other dogs are here too. The German Shepherd really loves him. She's not so sure, but that's because he's kind of a punk and she's a punk, so they get along. But oh my God, he's so cute. Anyway, so here's my west window, and then just right over here to the left of the west window is probably my biggest Hoya for sure. And the last time I did a tour, she was on a trellis. Today I have been letting her trail because she was overwhelming for sure on the trellis. But this is my Pubicalyx Splash, and she is splashy, let me tell you what. She's very long. I've propagated her many times. Like, look at the size of this leaf, and it's so splashy. Here's my Jose Buono. Beautiful. Anyway, right now she has a T5 Barina above her, so some of these leaves up here are getting a little pinky, little sun stress because this light is very close. But otherwise, we've got this like huge 30-watt bulb from Lowe's hanging here. It was above our Bird of Paradise, but the Bird of Paradise is outside, so it's kind of gaining some of the light from here so that it will hopefully continue to trail. Oh my god, I can't get enough of this leaf. It's so huge. This one is also super easy, like kind of like a Carnosa variety. Super easy, grows super fast. I love silver Hoyas. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that is my Hoya Pubicalyx Splash. Over here in my east window, I just have one Hoya over here. It is my Burtonay, which is relatively, you know, kind of just exists. I wish it would bloom because those blooms are so cute too. These leaves are so fuzzy. Again, super low maintenance. Most Hoyas are super low maintenance, but I love the fuzziness of these leaves, and like the color is really cool. But yeah, it just kind of sits over here. Doesn't mind drying out all the way. Spider plant is kind of in the way, but yeah, nothing much to say about that one. Just chills. Room is a lot different. If you watch my other video, it was a pretty clean, it was our plant room, but you know, a lot of plants got moved outside, and so now it's just kind of a mess, and kind of just, you know, my alocasias are still in here, some of my philodendrons and Grant's cactus cabinet, but this is basically empty. Used to have a lot of my Hoyas in it. There's my Pubicalyx Splash right there, propagating. This is my oldest Hoya here in this window, my Crimson Queen. It's not very, let's see if I can get it a little brighter. Oh gosh. But she is loving this spot and loving this pot. She is, I guarantee you, extremely root bound at this point. So she is growing like crazy, like the queen that she is. And I noticed something the other day. Okay, gotta stop spinning. Including these leaves, which are just amazing. There is also, where'd it go? Gotta find it. Oh god, look at this. I just noticed that this like counter or whatever, this stand is super dirty. Oh my gosh, where'd it go? She has peduncles on her, but where? Is the question. Oh, right there. Right there. Has some peduncles. So she might bloom before my Polynura. Who knows? But like, one thing about Hoyas is they do love to be root bound. So 10 out of 10 recommend putting them in a tiny pot and letting them really fill that thing out, and barely upsizing when you do. Oh, look at those leaves, all white. The really nice thing about these, if you don't like, they don't last forever, the all white leaves, but if you keep it watered how it wants and like not burn it, they'll stay for a while. So yeah, wow. My oldest Hoya, stunning. The only other Hoya in this room is kind of hiding. Let's see. It's my Serpens. It is, I finally moved it to dirt because the moss that it was growing in, oh gosh, I'm so shaky, came alive. Oop, there's a fungus gnat in there. So it's not doing a whole lot, but I still have it in there. It really likes to be humid, so I still have it in that dome. That freaking gnat. But yeah, hasn't done much. You couldn't really see it in my last video, but yeah. I don't have much to say about it. It hasn't done much. Just adjusting to soil substrate instead of moss. And now we will move over to this jungle. You might wonder why we have a gate up. The answer is that guy. He will eat plants. He's a plant eater. So we have put up this gate around, and one of my friends actually said that she really likes this gate here because it makes it look like a display, like a museum display. But yeah, that's definitely very new since the last time I had a video posted. So there's the last few Hoyas over here that kind of hiding before we get to our main Hoya shelf there. But here is, let's see if I can reach it. I cannot reach it. And oh, sorry, getting motion sickness here. Maneuver amongst all the plants. So here is my Hoya obovata variegata. Oh my god, look at this leaf. I can't take credit for this leaf, it already had it when I got it, but look, it has a few new leaves coming in. I am obsessed. And then behind it is the Calistophylla. I've heard that this one is kind of tough, and you know, I haven't had it for very long, but I can honestly kind of agree, because look, it already had to start a new growth point up there because it dried out, but it has a new growth point somewhere in here, maybe there, I don't remember. Oh, there it is, right there. But yeah, I haven't had these for very long. You're gonna hear that a lot in this video because like I said, I went off the deep end when it came to Hoyas recently, but the obovata is definitely pretty easy. I'm just hoping not to burn it because this light is pretty bright, and so is this. We have another big light here, and so I kind of have it leaned out away from the light. This begonia is trying to steal the show a little bit, but yeah, I cannot believe I wanted this plant for so long, and I finally found one on Etsy, Gaia's Botanicals maybe, and I got both of these from her, and they were pretty cheap for huge plants. Like, these haven't grown that much, they haven't grown at all since I got them. Slow growers for sure, but it's pretty cheap. And then the last one that's not on the Hoya shelf is this one. I have to kind of lift my, and it is a compacta variegata, which I found for a steal of about $40 at a local greenhouse here. And it actually has done a lot of growing too, because I think these two new pink leaves are new, and that leaf is new, I believe. It has a ton of like nice growth points on it, so it is under a T8 Marina, which might be a little too bright for it, but I'd like it to be really variegated, so I'm hoping that that really bright light helps with that. So basically this shelf here and this shelf here are the rest of my Hoyas. I've got this shelf completely full all the way to the bottom shelf with Hoyas, because I have been so obsessed with them recently. Ooh. I've been so obsessed with them recently that I haven't that I've wanted them to be front and center in our home. So this shelf, I believe, is from the Container Store, if you care. I've got this one and the short one next to it. And then the lights here are kind of DIY held up. They are short. They're 12-inch T5 Barinas. They're all linked so that if I want to turn them off, ow, I'm such a klutz today. If I want to turn them off, then all I have to do is click one button. It's easy peasy. I still have this light up here. It's a weird thing light for my Alocasia cuprea, but yeah. I'll start with the ones on the bottom since you can't really see them. But this is my Crimson Princess, and holy crap, has she grown a ton. Like, all of this is new within the past, like, month. It's crazy. I figured I better have this one because it's one of the most common Hoyas, I feel like. Like, I feel like everybody and their grandma has this Hoya, as well as the Crimson Queen that I showed upstairs. But I think it's so cute. The leaves come out super pink. And yeah, not much to say other than it's super easy. And it's one of the Hoyas that you can definitely do the taco test on. So this one looks like it might need water. If you don't know what the taco test is, you kind of squeeze the Hoyas like this, like a taco. I just broke that one. That you shouldn't squeeze that hard. I'll probably just, I'll just leave it on there. But it was an all green leaf anyway. Who cares? So super easy, must have staple Hoya. Also down here is my Retusa, which is also exploding. This is kind of a goofy looking one. Definitely not for everyone, because it kind of looks like a little like grass, even more so than the Linearis. But I'm just being patient until it's as long as my Linearis, and then I know that it will look like totally awesome. But I've heard that these blooms are super sticky above all the other blooms. Like, I think Plants by Melissa, I follow her on Instagram, and her Retusa blooms like attracted ants, and they actually I cannot talk today. They infiltrated her string of turtles, and she had to like treat her string of turtles and like basically start over with her string of turtles. So I'm not really looking forward to that one blooming. I just want it to be long and grassy. The other one on this shelf is a Clemensorium. One of my planty friends here in Omaha, this broke off of her plant, and she's like, somebody buy this for me, I'm too lazy to root it. So I said, I'll root it. I love this. I love like the veiny. It looks like very like prehistoric. I feel like a lot of people say that. It looks very dinosaur. I think it might be like a specific type of Clemensorium, because a lot of the Clemensoriums I've seen were very pointy, but it might just be this leaf. But I've also seen some different varieties that have round leaves. If you saw my jaw drop a little bit earlier, it's because, you know, this is just one leaf and this is a dead end. But I think it's so subtle. It's just like barely green. I think some new growth is gonna pop out. That would be amazing. I love these big leaves, and I love the veiny leaves, as you're gonna see as I continue on. Okay. So I guess moving on, I got 3 Hoyas yesterday at a little shop in town called Shellytown Market. So cute. Little left-leaning plant shop. And this is one that I got. She actually had like this tray of Hoya propagations that were just like sitting, like she was potting them up. And I was like, can I look through those? And she's like, sure. And this was actually one that she hadn't potted up yet. She potted up for me. It's pretty low variegation right now, but there was another piece that was pretty variegated of the same plant there. And it is the Incrusata inner variegated, which I think is called the Moon Shadow, as opposed to the Eclipse, which is the outer variegated, I think. I'm learning all this about Hoyas as we speak, but it has nice new growth, and like here's like you can really tell that it's variegated on that leaf. And this is what I really loved about Hoyas recently, is like it just looks so cute, just like this. Like I found myself really changing what I wanted out of a plant. Like I used to want like a really bushy plant, or like a plant with a bunch of leaves, and I feel like you inevitably become like a minimalist plant owner. Not everyone, because I still have 300 plants, so can I really call myself a minimalist? No. But like just 2 leaves and like waiting for it to put out new leaves, you can have more plants this way. So I'm a fan of Hoyas because of that. Because speaking of another 2 leaves, I also bought this one this week. I'm gonna butcher the name. Vitelinoides. This leaf is huge, like huge, biggest Hoya leaf I have, and so like the veination is so subtle, but so like it's very subtle on this darker leaf, but very gorgeous. And it has multiple growth points. It's got one here and one here, and oh my gosh, I just, again, 2 leaves, but it's a stunner. It's a showstopper. Oh my gosh, this guy is so beautiful. This is my Nova Ghost, or Nickel and Saunier, I think is the puppy is doing a big stretch. It hasn't done any growth since I got it. I think I broke the leaf off that it was trying to make. It already had some of this like pinky sun stressing on it when I got it. So I'm grateful for that. I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't have flat mites now that I'm like looking at it, because I've seen a lot about flat mites recently. None of my Hoyas have really stopped growing, except this one, but like I said, I broke the leaf off of it. But also I've seen people say that like a sign of flat mites is stunted growth, and then like the new growth kind of looks like stumpy. Again, I broke the new leaf off, but because the flat mites attack the new growth. So I might want to treat this one just in case, because I did buy this one on Etsy. It was not that expensive for this. Etsy has the best deals if you just like, keep an eye out. And they're nice plants too, because it's just like a homie growing it in their house, you know? So I might end up treating this one just in case. I've heard this one's a really, really slow grower though, so you know, it could be nothing. But better safe than sorry. I've seen a lot of people having troubles with flat mites recently. Next is my Macrophylla albovariegata. This guy is just constantly giving me like this, like all of this is new leaves since I got it. It was very small when I first got it, but it was very cheap, so understandably so. It grows like crazy, and it's super forgiving because it has such a thick leaf. Like I can't even, I'm like, it's a hard taco for sure. It's not bending. Oh, it's dusty. It's very forgiving because of that thick leaf. It's able to hold on to water a lot longer, and so it can go longer in between waterings. And I love this like little pink like ridge that it gets, little of sun stress with the new leaves. I mean, if I had this in a really bright spot, it would turn like hot pink, which would be cool, but I just like having them all right here. And the Barina 5s are not like the most bright ever, but these are getting probably close to 400, 500 foot candles. So kind of a lot for a Hoya, honestly. What is that? So weird. Sad. Here is my Kentiana, I believe. Some people will say variegated Wyetii, but I don't think that's a real thing. I'm not sure, actually. So it could be either. Tell me what you think, because I thought it was the variegated Wyetii, and then I saw this Kentiana. But it really does look like my Wyetii because it has like those dark rims, dark ridges. I love how pink it is. That's why it's in this pink pot. It's like the pinkest of my Hoyas. So, and the stems all are pink. Super easy. Always growing. Always, you know, you can't even really tell if it's growing because it just has so many growth points. But yeah, let me know if you know, you know, I'm kind of taking the easy way out by asking my watchers my viewers to tell me, teach me. But I just don't know the difference between a variegated white EDI and a Kentiana. Because I've seen it both ways. I mean, this piece looks very white EDI. So is that piece. So I don't know. Same thing, I think, personally. I just noticed that this lighting is probably really bad. Well, let's see if I can, let's bring a boy down here. Does that help? Light check. Technical difficulties. I don't even know if you can see me. You can definitely see me. Okay. So I guess I just don't know how to get it any brighter over here. Hold on. Telling you hold on as if you're gonna go anywhere. I mean, you could probably just like leave my video. Let's see if I turn this a little bit. What's this looking like? Oh, that's better. Turned on my big lamp over there. All right, so this is another plant that I bought this week. I kind of want to re-show these other ones. Just like quickly, so you can see the variegation on that one, and the veination on this one, and this one. Because you're here to look, after all. If the lighting is terrible and you can't see anything, what the heck's the point? Okay. Oh. Dropped it. Oh, okay, so this is another purchase from this week. Oops. It is the Crassy Petiolata Splash. So if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that we imported a bunch of Hoya, and this was one that was on the list that you could have imported, and I wish I would have, because the leaves are huge on the one that the one lady bought, and gorgeous, super splashy, but this tiny one's cute too, so I just bought this one this week. So I don't know, I love the veining. It's like veiny and splashy, so like the best of both worlds, honestly. Here is my Carnosa Wilbur Graves. So I bought this as these two leaves, 1, 2, on Etsy for $15, which might seem like a lot for 2-leaf unrooted cutting, but I've seen this plant very expensive online. So, maybe I got ripped off. Maybe I didn't, because like, look at how silver this leaf is. Super freaking silver, and this one's like a half moon almost, and this is another one that I broke the leaf off of. Boop. And I broke the leaves off of here, I think. Oh wait, no, they didn't come in yet. I broke the leaf off of here, but pretty slow growing, and I don't really know why it gets leggy like this when I didn't change anything about its care or its environment, but oh well. But it's a Carnosa, so it's not hard to take care of, for sure. I really need to dust all these. It's dusty in our house. Wilbur Graves, Etsy, again. Another Etsy purchase. I think this might have been from the same seller. Yeah, it was. Is the Sigillatus, I think. God, is it sigillatus? Sigillatus? I think it's sigillatus. And so this came as like this little piece right here in the pot. And all of this has grown. So this Hoya is a crazy grower, super fast, and the leaves come out this like super pink color, and they stay that pink color for a while because like flat mites maybe? I don't know. I gotta look it up. I gotta figure out what flat mites be doing. Gotta figure out what flat mites are doing. Whatever. But because this one's still kind of pink. But yeah, this is super splashy and the pink is super fun, and like I said, it goes super fast. I need a trellis, but I can't decide on what kind of trellis or, you know, like what I want. There's not a ton of room here for a trellis. Also, this is a tiny little pot. It's in like a little plastic cup. So, but this one's super easy, super forgiving. I think it might have flat mites. It grows though, so I don't really care. Put this here. Another one that I bought yesterday was this one. This one it was the same lady that I got this one from, and she had an even bigger one of these, like on her little propagation tray. Sorry, I need to wipe this leaf off. Oh well. The leaves were like this big. It's a carry eye. So these, I think this is super huge too. And I got this pot from her as well. It's like an upcycled pot. But yeah, I love the carry eye, but only if it's big like this. You know, I don't really like little carry eyes. Carry eyes. Oh, one of Grant's airplanes just fell off the window. A casualty. But I would assume this is pretty similar to the obovata. I think I've heard that it grows a little bit slower, but oh my gosh, I can't believe how perfectly heart-shaped these leaves are. Oh my god, so these two especially. This one's really dirty. I don't know what's on there. Maybe she like treated it with some soap. A carry eye splash would also be amazing, but expensive, so no thank you. I'm not a big fan of like the variegated carry eyes. I know that might be a controversial topic because everybody seems to have one of those, like another one of those like houseplant staples. But yeah, it just doesn't, I don't really love it. Speaking of something I do love, this is my little Hoya Chelsea, and I showed it in my last video. It hasn't changed since then. So it is a slow little dude, for sure, because it popped out these 4 leaves, and it's not really done anything since then. It still has all these like active-ish growth points. I think that's what these are. You know, like this could be another one that just literally has pests or something, and that's why it doesn't do anything. But, you know, I like it enough. It's in this cute little head pot. And I grew it from unrooted. So I'm happy with it. A plant that makes me a little sad is my Sarawak. Oh god, I'm gonna break it again. Because, like, this is what it looked like when I bought it, basically, at this point, because it had a new leaf growing here, and it was already like this big and super pink and super gorgeous, and I let the plant dry out too much or something, and it just died, just snapped off. And I think I've already dried out the tip of this growth point. Again, I don't know how to take care of this plant. You know, it seems like it would be a thicker leafed Hoya, so I wouldn't need to water it very frequently, and I don't water it very frequently. But it seems like it's drying out. So I don't know. I tried to like finagle it so this growth point is away from the light a little bit so it doesn't burn. Because I don't know if I burned the last one. I don't know. But it has I think it has 2 plants in here. Like this is its own plant here, and it has a growth point. Oh wow, it definitely has a new growth point. I don't know if you can see that. has a new growth point in there, and it has one like here and here looks like new, that's new growth, that's new growth, that's new growth. So like it's growing slowly. I don't remember which plant was in the typewriter pot the last time I filmed, but I think this one fits very nicely in here. The shelf is pretty much at max capacity as well, unless I kick that cupria out of its spot up top and find a brighter light to put up there. It ain't happening. Oh, that's not where that goes. I just put a lot of these in pots this morning too. Oh God. There we go. Need a trellis for this. Okay, so moving up this, okay, I'll finish off the ones that I bought yesterday. So this is the third one I bought yesterday, and it is a glabulosa. It is so cute. This is so green. Like it's just a bright, vibrant green. And the backs of the leaves are very fuzzy, very nice. And it has a new growth point right there. But it's just so cute, and I love the color. Like this is like the best color I've seen on Hoya is this right here. It's just so beautiful, and the veination, love me some veination for sure. So cute. I also got this one this week. The variegated Huschkeliana. This one has been on my wish list for a long time, and I also had the opportunity to import it, a big plant, for cheaper. I didn't. It's okay because it is so cute. And I've heard these are really easy bloomers and really fast growers. So it has like 3 or 4 growth points on it. So shouldn't take very long to get to a full pot, hopefully. And then this is a Rangsan. I think it's, so on the little pot, it says Rangsan Light, which I wonder if that means that it's not going to be super splashy, because a lot of the Rangsans I've seen have been super splashy. This is the only leaf it's given me in my care. It looks a bit wrinkly, so another victim of flat mites, perchance? I don't know. I think I've just started blaming everything on flat mites, these mythical little creatures that I've never seen. I know they exist, they're not mythical, but because I've heard so many people having problems with that. So every time I see something a little weird, I'm like, flat mites? So this is another one that I like let dry out too much or something and broke the leaf off. That's one thing that's like really frustrating. They're so fragile. Like this little leaf right here, so fragile. If you just do a little bump, it's gone. It's gone. And that's really frustrating. But like, it's well worth it if you can manage not to kill it. Here is my variegated Bella. Ooh, I don't know, it looks like it might be reverting. I feel like I'm giving it enough light. Don't know why it would have reverted, but this one has been hard, I'll say that. Like all of these leaves have dropped off of it because I let it get too dry, because it's such a thin leaf. Hoya. It's so cute. I hope it doesn't revert. It really does look like it's reverting, which is fine. I'll just cut it and see if I can get it to, you know, grow a little bit better. Like this leaf is very variegated, very nice, but this one is so fragile. Like I feel like I'll just rip all the leaves off of it. You know, maybe it needs to re-root or something. I don't know. Maybe I rip the roots off. I don't know. But very cute. It's very hard compared to its sibling here, the normal Bella. Like this guy's easy as pie, and I'm so excited for this one to bloom because I've heard this one's super easy to bloom as well. White and pink blooms. So a lot of people that I've watched videos of, they agree that, you know, if you thought this was easy, so you're like, oh, this will be easy. No, it's not. So, oh, I guess, and this is the outer variegated version. There's also an inner variegated version. I missed out on the inner variegated version because I hesitated. I could have had both, but after having this one, I don't know if I deserve it. The last one on this shelf is my Obavada, and it is putting out some cuties, some new leaves, some cuties. Yeah, another super easy one because of the super big leaves. Has another growth point here. Super easy because it holds on to water, or you can let it dry out really long. Look how big this leaf is. Holy crap. Super big. I can't wait to see how these leaves are. Look how perfect they are. And they're like purple when they come in. So cute. So that's the end of this shelf. There's a few more on shelf up here. If you can see, I'll pull them down so you can see them a little better. Can you tell I love this pot? Because I have two. I also have two of this one. So let's pull these down. This is the Hoya Sunrise. This one's super fast and easy too. You can see it's a little bit close to the grow light up there, so it's doing its thing, sun stressing. You know, if you see this plant from far away, you're like, eh. Then you look a little closer. And you see that it's like a little bit splashy. It's got like light veins instead of dark veins. Ooh, like this is a good leaf to look at. Like it has some nice veins. It has a little bit of splashy. The color's really nice. It's very similar to the globulosa, so very good color. And the sun stressing, when it gets like red, that's really pretty. I don't really know if I need it to sun stress. It is anyway, but I think I like it just the way it is. Sometimes you just need like a green plant. I was watching Becca de la Plante. I don't know if that's her. I don't think her name is De La Plante, but I think that might be her YouTube name. She said that, you know, sometimes you just gotta have like green plants so that, you know, the plant next to it that's not so green can shine, like this one. I'll just put this here. This is my pride and joy of Hoyas anyway. My Mathilde Splash. Like, what? Like, this was such a small plant and I got it for such a cheap deal. Oh, excuse me, who am I excusing? On Facebook. And look at these leaves, like it's so big. Like this leaf is so big and so silver. I just love it. Ooh! It's got like 3 strands growing on here. It's got I think 2 peduncles. There's one right here. It's super tiny. I think there's another one. I don't know where. Maybe not. Maybe it fell off. But I've heard the blooms are stinky. I don't care. I'd do anything for this thing to bloom. But the foliage makes it perfect. Just perfect. I have no notes. And it's super easy. It's like a Carnosa serpens. Yeah, Carnosa serpens hybrid. So anything Carnosa, super easy. I've seen like Mathildes that have Mathilde splashes that have reverted. If this ever did that to me, I'd scream and cry myself to sleep because I just love the silver. And yeah, I would just die if it reverted on me. Second to last one inside is my Caudata Sumatra. I think that's how you say it. This is a pretty new guy and he's kind of gnarly. Like he's got a lot of sharp little aerial roots growing. He's kind of fuzzy, kind of splashy. This is a pretty splashy leaf here. You can see it. they kind of turn, the leaves kind of turn a little purpley when they're getting a lot of light. Ooh, new leaf, new leaf. So cute. So it's definitely not my favorites, but it kind of like, it's dark and mysterious vibes, I guess. Oh, these are so cute. The fuzzy, very nice. And like, they kind of look like they have a serrated edge. Like they look sharp. So kind of like a spooky Hoya. So pretty easy, I think. I've not really had much trouble with it. When I bought it, it had a lot of dried tips, dead ends on it. And it's growing a lot of new growth points now. So it must like me. Likes me enough. And then my last Hoya in the house is another pride and joy, is my Australis Lisa. So this whole strand here, I grew from a rootless cutting with like 4 leaves on it. And it did all of this. And it's putting out this really long guy here. It's working on it. But this is another situation where like I didn't change its environment at all, and it started to really space out the leaves a lot, when before it was growing very close internodal spacing. So I don't know what that's about, if it's like an inconsistency in watering or what. But it has 2 other plants in here, like a tiny one with really good variegation and like a less variegated one. Like there's still some variegation on there, so it might pop back out with a bit more light. But this was like something I added in later. I wish this one would catch up, but it's kind of getting shaded out by the massiveness of this one. So for now, I guess this will just have to do. I'm just really proud of this one because it's another one that I like, kind of like my Chelsea that I actually got it from the same person, as well as the Serpents. And I just like made it happen from such a small cutting, and it just looks great. Okay. So that's all the Hoyas in the house. I'm actually going to go outside for a second and show you the Hoyas that I imported. They're not that pretty right now, because I ended up having to chop them all up, but I just kind of want to document what they look like now, so that when they do get pretty, I will have something to show for it. Backyard. Quick backyard tour. There's our greenhouse and our raised garden beds. I had a lot of my philodendrons in the greenhouse, and it was just getting too hot because it gets too much afternoon sun, and a lot of them got burnt. So a lot of them are now in this little propagation tent here, with my other with my import Hoyas. Gosh, sorry, I gotta try to unzip this thing. Ooh, it's hot in there. 75% humidity and 91 degrees. 91 degrees might be a little warm, but I should have had the imports in an environment like this way earlier, because they're from Thailand. So let's see, can you even see what I'm doing? Yeah, there's the inside. This has been kind of a thing of technical difficulties, but you can see some of my philodendrons here that got a little burnt, got a little cut up. He's out here to go potty. Star of the show, Apollo. He's too tired. He does not want to go down and go potty. He says, I want to go back inside and nap. Anyway, so I've got a few like philodendrons in here that just needed a little less light. I don't know why I was forcing so much light upon them, but otherwise over here are the import Hoyas. So they were huge plants. So this is the Tangumus, species Tangumus, Indonesia. Super veiny, super, that's not the same one. Let's see. this one, this one, this one. Oh wait, so this is the same one. So yeah, these are all rooting. I think one of these already has roots. And then the other one is this Perak, Malaysia. So it's got like fuzzy leaves on the back. It's kind of similar to the teddy bear. That one had blooms all over it. Whoa, whoa. Peduncles all over it. Another one that I got cuttings of was this Finlandsonii round form, which is super cute. Look at that. Super round. Then I think I got like a erythrostema. It doesn't look like much now. I think it's over here. Oh, here it is. Erythrostema, which it's not much, but it's cute. Gonna make sure everybody's in there. And then the guy that took the biggest hit was my Breviolata Splash. Like cute little roundish leaves. I had to chop it up so much to get it to where I hope that it'll root now, but I might lose the whole plant. It was just too dry, and I thought the roots looked good, but they didn't. So I'm kind of a bad judge of roots sometimes. I kind of hope for the best and am not super cautious. So yeah. Another one was this, the last one I traded for was this cute intervariegated. So just a couple cuttings of that too. So that is all 42 of my Hoyas. And they're gonna come back inside. My buddy's gonna come back inside. Oh no. Dad's gonna keep him outside for a second and get some kisses. I didn't share a ton of care tips about each of them because they're pretty much all the same. They really like light, and they really like being root bound, and they really like to dry out all the way. Most of them, like the Serpens, does not. It likes to be moist. Likes to have a lot of humidity. Some Hoyas do a lot better with humidity. I haven't, we keep our home pretty humid because of the amount of plants that are in here. Really contributes to the humidity. So with like 60% humidity in here, which is a feat. Like the plants help, but you gotta run a humidifier pretty frequently as well. But I think the reason why I started loving Hoya so much is because they're pretty easy. And, there's so many different varieties. And there's a lot of other crazy Hoya people in Omaha that are enabling me. So, yeah. I also don't know a ton about a lot of the Hoyas that I have just because I just bought a lot of them. So I kind of wanted to record what they looked like now so that, I could do updates on them and show like really how much they've grown. And, it'll be fun to look back on all my little baby Hoyas when they grow big. So let's see. Come here, baby. Apollo. The dogs are acting crazy. I wanted my puppy. But the dogs are acting crazy. The neighbor dog does not like Apollo. She is an anti-men type of dog. So she has been a real bitch. Apollo, come here, baby. Come here, let's say bye. Come here. Come here, Papa. Oh, he's more awake now. So maybe he'll... Oh! Oh, he's gonna bite me. He's gonna bite me. Ah. So, Apollo's not really sure about Hoyas, but I am. And you should buy more Hoyas. Ow! Oh. All right. Time to go. Thank you for watching. Follow me on Instagram. Sid the plant doc. The end.